Hello everybody, SirMonkeySuit here, back again. Alright, so I am still like fairly ill. I am better than what I was, like what I have been like the past like 4 days or whatever. If that's got something to do with like taking some tablets, I don't know, but you know, at the end of the day, it's Saturday and it's always a good day. It's always a good day. So, you know, we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna see how I feel like recording this. And I mean, if anything can cheer me up, it's some good old fashioned, you know, good old fashioned back and go, kicking people's ass. So I'm hoping that's what we're gonna get. The title's called fucking All for One, so I mean, we haven't really had a lot on All for One, really, have we? I wonder if we're actually gonna like see him like full body and all that, and see what the hell's gonna go down. But last episode 8, yeah, so they all decide. Well, I said they all. Basically, Kirishima, Momo, Deku, Todoroki, and Ida all decide to go after Bakugo, or follow this this trace, wherever it leads, and put on some disguises as well. But yeah, they decide to go after Bakugo. The pros of also making a move, I seem to think, you know what I mean, that the pros are a little bit behind. Obviously they've had to gather all of the pros together and then make a plan, whereas the students seem to have gone off straight away. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, I think basically the whole last episode was me like talking about like talking about like what my views are on the law and why I don't think it's like a bad thing that the students decided to do what they're doing. I think from now on, like, you know, my my thoughts on it just are what they are. You know what I mean? I don't think I need to really explain it further. So if they get brought up like in later episodes, then I'll probably just bypass it and just be like, oh, well, everyone knows my opinion on it, and just leave it at that, you know, because you know, it's a very it seems like a very touchy subject, not like people you know, people, it's a very controversial one, put it that way. It's a one that people like to talk about and whatnot. But you know, I think it's had like there's been maybe 2 big episodes in this series where it's like being brought up. So, you know, I don't think I need to bring it up any further. Like, unless for some reason like it changes my mind, then I'll bring it up. But like other than that, I think everyone knows. So yeah. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else to talk about. So yeah, I'm gonna keep fucking my energy level hopefully at like a constant, and I hopefully I don't go below that, like, because that'll be the worst. That's the one thing I don't want to happen. But without further ado, let's just get straight into episode 9, shall we? Fucking hell. Oh my god, like, who's dead then? Who's dead? Like, Deck just said that he made them feel death. There was people there that were clearly dead. Like, and it looked like, well, Best Jeanist got the fucking brunt of it. Like, I just don't see how he's going to be alive after this. Holy shit. Mount Lady was there. Tiger was there. Golden Ragdoll. Holy fuck. I mean, it would definitely be an interesting like thing to kill off Best Jeanist like like nothing. You know what I mean? Because then it would just like go to show like how powerful like All for One is. Fucking hell, Christ! All right, I wrote down a few notes. Just, you know, it's possible I might have missed like some stuff just because I'm still ill, so I'm not like I'm not 100%. I can't truly focus completely. So if I've missed out some stuff like that is obvious, I apologize. But I was in the middle of writing down one note and I completely forgot what it was, and so it's just a note that says that. That's all it says. I can't even remember what it was for or anything. Yeah, the Nomo wasn't at it wasn't at the bar, and I figured that out. Like, I don't know how I didn't remember that. Like, for some reason that that removed itself from my head. The fact that they put a tracker on the Nomu, and the Nomu wasn't at the bar. I should have really figured that out sooner. So yeah. I think it's interesting. Like, what I was gonna, I pretty much said I wasn't gonna bring this up at the fucking start of the video. Like the whole like law thing and things like that. You know, when I talk about it, you know, and I try to explain why it's just what a hero does, and I think, you know what I mean, they should be allowed to go that route if that's what they want to do. Like, I personally have no problem with them doing it if that's what they want to do. And Tiger was doing it for emotion's sake. He was being led by emotion to, obviously, you know, his main priority was to get Ragdoll out of there, right? And she, I don't know if she's alive anymore, like, after what just happened, but she doesn't have a quirk anymore, I can tell you that. Which makes me think, like, was all of the paint and all of that was like around that, was that part of her quirk? What was that quirk again? Like, what was it? I don't know if I even wrote it down. I remember writing down like Ragdoll, but I can't remember if I wrote down a quirk or anything. It was like episode 3, wasn't it? Search is the name of a quirk, but that's just, I guess that's just what I wrote down. I didn't write down like how it works. Fuck, can I remember what search? She can figure out where people are, right? Like, she can figure out where anybody is and just... And that's that. Alright. So All for One has that now, then. I don't know if I should really keep that in mind. Like... if it'll come into play at some point. Like, he's able to figure out, he's able to pinpoint where people are. Okay, I'll write it down just in case, because you never know. Yeah. Ability from... Right, yeah, so yeah, that's happened. Edge shot, he can fold his body to like paper thin, and like it seems thinner. Like, I thought I mean, I wasn't expecting them to like fold his body to the point where he was like, because I get like folding it so that he's 2D, which is funny considering like it's like a 2D image, it's animation, but like, you know, so you can like obviously squeeze through the door and whatnot, but like I thought it was fucking Vlad at first with like with blood control, but I guess he has to like, I don't know, can he control like other people's bloodstreams and that? I don't know, but Ed shot, he seemed to like, I don't know what he did. Did he penetrate? Like, did he stab through? He said something like he forced him to go unconscious by like doing something with his blood, right? Like maybe like making sure like blood doesn't get to his brain or something. I don't know what he did. It was something like that. But yeah, I originally thought it was Vlad, and then like when he popped out, I was like, what? He can do that as well, like, because to me when you like the idea that he can fold his body paper thin, like the last thing I was thinking was he would fold up into a literal like a needle-sized, like long, elongated. I don't even know, because it looked like blood as well. Like that's why I thought it was Vlad. Like, it was just like blood colored and whatnot. I was like, all right, you know what I mean? No, it turns out to be Ed shot. Mental. Yeah, the All for One, like the facility that they were in seemed to be like seemed to be a quirk that was like. I think I heard that it was like keeping it under the radar, like a sort of like a stealth thing. It was probably like covering the facility or whatnot to keep it like, I don't know, to keep like possible, I guess, people with like quirks that have like maybe like X-ray vision that can see through, or like sort of hear inside, like maybe like a quirk that like stops that. I thought I heard that, but I was talking over it at the time, so. Also, I think Kirishima stole a bit of equipment. Like, because he had this $15,000. I don't know why that $15,000 like is what's so special about those like binoculars or goggles, whatever the fuck they are. But he just said, yeah, don't worry about it. It's like, what? He just stole it. And Shigaraki's real name is like, was it Tenko Shimura? Is that what it was? And also, it seems like the reason why Shigaraki hates heroes, I guess, but in general, like All Might, is because his parents died and no hero came to save them. Is that what it was? You know what wouldn't surprise me is if All for One was behind that attack. Like if All for One like was behind killing his parents, and then he like, I don't know, fed Shigaraki like a story, and like, oh yeah, it wasn't me, you know what I mean? And then he obviously took him under his control. Because if we imagine that All for One was planning to do this, like, you know, passing on the All for One thing to a successor, then it would make sense to me that he went out and purposefully chose somebody, as opposed to, like, you know, randomly go through the street and it's like, oh, he has a kid who's just happens to be parentless now. Like, you know, I feel like he targeted this family, killed off the parents because he was just a kid. So, you know, by doing that, you know what I mean, he can make up the idea that heroes didn't come to save his parents' life, which means, you know, you can, like, he could project that kind of blame of heroes onto him. So obviously he's going to grow up with that mentality, and basically he'll be able to shape him in whichever way he wants. So it's essentially just, he's creating, like, he's basically using Shigaraki as, like, you know, and basically molding him into, like, the perfect person to succeed this All for One power. And what I would love to see, because it's almost like, The interesting thing is with this show is that All Might is like the past generation, right? Like he's still got the abilities and all of that, but he's like he was the past generation, and you know, like with One for All and stuff like that. But like I feel like it can be the same with All for One. Now, if he has like this like de-aging quirk, or like this quirk that just, you know, does makes it so he doesn't age, you know, then that's one thing. But like with One for All, it seems to have like, you know, just kind of continuously just being given, like passed down and whatnot. Whereas All for One, I think this, well, yeah, this All for One that we know now, like he's that guy. Like he's the one that had that quirk forever. Like he hasn't passed, like that hasn't been passed down to him by the previous one, right? You know what I mean? But it has the same sort of idea now. Like he's able, so All for One's obviously, he has a way for him to pass it on to Shigaraki, right? So for me, I feel like when was it episode 20 of season 2 where they talked about like All for One and all of that, and like All Might was like, you know, you might have to face like All for One yourself, and that doesn't necessarily mean that he has to face that All for One, but All for One when it's Shigaraki, right? Because I feel like Shigaraki is like Deku's nemesis, right? Like he's the Joker to Batman, essentially, right? I feel like that's the way it is anyway. Like it's, you know, it's been rooted like there from season 1. You know what I mean? They kind of have that sort of link. It just makes sense, and I think when it eventually comes like all to a head, and it's at a point where, I don't know, they're in this like final battle together, that at some point Shigaraki realizes what has happened, really, and that he has been brought up by the person who killed his family for the sake of using Shigaraki as a tool to basically be his successor. I can see that happening. Again, that's a theory. That's all based upon the fact that like All for One did in fact kill his family for the sole purpose of getting Shigaraki as like his successor. But I can see that being the case, because I don't know, like while it's a good sort of like, while it's, you know, it's all right, like the idea, why is he a villain? Or because heroes didn't come to save his parents, right? So like it's understandable, but it's, you know, it's not like huge, you know what I mean? Like at some point, like, you know, I feel like great characters, you have to give them some understanding, and in some cases, you know what I mean, like you don't have to do this all the time, but like it's good to have like to have some, like, maybe like to have some sort of redeeming quality or some sympathy behind those characters. So if we found out like towards the end of that, like that Shigaraki was like, you know, that All for One killed his parents and all of that, and like he's realizing this and all of that, and it's like it becomes an emotional like thing. I mean, I feel like just because of like the way Shigaraki is, that, you know, for a moment, it might not be long, but he might be like, it might be the first time you see him ever like emotional and like, you know, sad, and you feel like it almost might turn, but then like he'll just go nuts and crazy, and then Deku will have to put him out of his misery. Like, I can see that happening, because I don't see Shigaraki like. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, because, you know, I've heard countless times that, you know, that like with this, with My Hero Academia, like the creator likes to do things that's, you know, not obvious. Even though it's like a shonen and it has those shonen vibes, and, you know, things happen like a normal shonen would, there are things that this show does that other shows don't. So you never know how it's going to go in the future, but that's kind of like my theory of how it might go down.